All right, guys, welcome. We're wrapping up the week here. Actually, we have the beginning of March happening today, March 1st, 2019. SPY gave us quite a bit of action this week, had plenty of gap ups. You actually have a little bit of a pullback past couple of days. It reached its resistance in the low 21s, high 280s. Started to pull back all day today. So it actually gave the bears a lot of action to play with today. We actually had BNFT, which you're looking at right here. We have the 15-minute chart on the left and the daily on the right side here. So you see that these guys gapped down almost 6% this morning, and it's pretty much been consolidating all day. Found a little bit of resistance, excuse me, a little bit of support in the mid 45s, but it just having a really hard time trying to get above VWAP. So that's obviously telling you that the institutions are just not done getting rid of these shares here. You have over here on the right hand side, you have the daily chart, which is showing two gap downs within a few days, which is definitely not a good sign. So this is something to look out for going into the beginning of the week next week. Possibly we're having a day two continuation. So next up we have CELG. CELG gapped down hard this morning, or actually, I'm sorry, yesterday. And I actually thought it was going to be a day two continuation because it actually closed in the low of the day yesterday, but you actually saw a little bit of a gap up this morning, and then it's just been kind of trading upwards all day long. And when it got to a resistance from yesterday's high, it just took out that level. So it was actually kind of gave you a really easy, low risk trade today. You can obviously put your position on right at the 84.77 level with your risk at VWAP, and then you have a nice little obviously uptrend throughout the day, probably going into a couple of days next week. Here you have DDS, which had a gap up a few days ago, and it just found a hard resistance at the $82 level. Once it started putting in lower highs and lower lows on actually this was yesterday, started putting on lower highs and lower lows. This is when you knew that you're gonna have sellers starting to put on their orders and stock is gonna be dropping. So that's exactly what's going on. You're gonna have this probably going at least to the $75 level. Is it gonna fill the gap? It's hard to tell, but as of right now, it's a high probability that's gonna reach the $75 level. Up next, we have the WUBA. WUBA gap down this morning. We're at about almost 13% now. It's just been dropping all day long. It's consolidated throughout the afternoon. It never really quite got up to VWAP level, but it's definitely trading at the low end of the range. So this is a definite candidate for day two going into Monday's session. Last but not least, we have Z. Z had a gap up a few days ago, and it's just been slowly peeling its way back up, setting lower highs and lower lows all week. And now what we're going to do, we're probably going to go into it's close to say mid 38s sometime next week. Is going to fill the gap all the way. We'll see, but you're going to probably see at least the mid 38s. So you still got a few bucks to go here. So it's a nice wrap up for the week, and we'll catch you guys next week. All right, enjoy the weekend.